back to our channel. We are 2G Handyman, and my name is Cameron, and this is my dad, Steven. Today will be a repair video over a BG55 Stihl leaf blower.
The problem we're having with the blower is it's very hard to start. When we do get it started, it doesn't want to stay running. And when we can get it started and it sounds like it's going to idle for a little while, as soon as we give it any kind of gas, it instantly dies. So in this video, we're going to go over the tools you need to do the job. We believe we're having a fuel issue, so we purchased a new carburetor from our local dealer.
So let's get to it.
We're going to go over the tools you're going to need. First off, with any Stihl blower, weed eater, or equipment that you buy, you get a T-handled star bit tool, which has 2 sockets on it. It has your T27 star driver. On one side, it's a 5/8 socket, and on the other side, it's a 3/4 inch socket. That can get your spark plug, and this is real good for your spark arrestor, which we're going to go through during the video. The second tool you're going to need is an 8mm socket. Is any type or any size flathead screwdriver. A good flashlight. Some type of screwdriver. Now you really don't need the screwdriver, but it's going to help us with the speed. And to go with the screwdriver, a T27 extension bit. And of course, this is the carburetor that we're going to be replacing. First, we're going to start by taking the blower tube off. Then we're going to take off the orange pull cord cover, the lower cover. For speed, we're using a power drill to take the screws off. But when installing the screws, I like to do it by hand so I don't strip the threads. So we set the cover aside. Next, we're going to start by taking off the top trigger cover. It's held on by 3 screws. Now you got to watch out for the screws. There's 2 types. There's one like this that comes with kind of a built-in washer, and there's just a normal, the regular flathead. We're going to take this top cover off, set it aside. Then we're going to take our electrical kill switch. We're going to take it off. Not completely off, we're just going to set it aside. Now we're going to take our throttle linkage. It can be kind of tricky getting it off, but you just got to work with it and it'll eventually come out. Just remember this short L, it goes on the carburetor throttle itself. Next, we're going to take our filter cover off. It's pretty simple. Just pop it off. Take the filter out. Then, all you have is these 8mm nuts. And that takes your intake cover off. And then also your carburetor will slide off of those bolts. Once you get the cover off, you can pull the 2 fuel hoses off. You can either pry them off with a flathead screwdriver like I'm doing here, or sometimes if they're really stuck on there, you might need some needle nose pliers to pull them out. And just pop that fuel hose off just like that. And here's the carburetor in all its glory. Now, it looks pretty clean because before we try to take it off and clean it up and see if we can put it back on there to get any results, but it didn't fix the issue. Here are the two fuel hoses I was talking about. Now to install the new carburetor, you just put the fuel hoses on, and they have a little stretch to them. Work the carburetor over the bolts. And just do everything in reverse order. Just put the gasket on. There's your throttle linkage with that small L. And it goes to your throttle right there. And again, it can be a little tricky trying to work it in. But just kind of keep at it, and you'll eventually get it. It'll eventually just drop on in. See, just right here. Kind of get it in there. And you just kind of keep bending it and working it, and it'll eventually get in the right spot to where it'll eventually just kind of click on in there, just like that. Now we're putting our kill switch back together, and make sure that electrical fitting, it goes on that rod first. And another thing to keep in mind is the wires. You make sure you have to work it down that little channel, because if you don't and you put that cover on, you could pinch your wires and have an electrical issue. So right here, I'm taking a flathead screwdriver and I'm just pushing the wires in that channel to make sure they're nice and secure. So when I put the panel back on, it won't pinch the wires. So now we're going to put our throttle trigger on. Make sure you connect it to your throttle linkage. Just like that. And put it on the rod, and it's in. And we're going to push our kill switch into its two grooves and make sure it's nice and secure and the wires are where they need to be. And we're going to put our top cover on. And you got to make sure that the top cover, they have these, I don't really know what to call it, but these little, I guess, plastic pieces, and they go behind your main blower body. It's held on by the 3 of the regular screws. There again, we're going to work them in by hand so we don't strip anything or tear anything up. Now we're going to put our intake cover back on and the 8mm nuts. I really should have bought a new filter, but I knew the filter wasn't an issue, so we'll have to deal with that later. But install the new filter, click in the filter cover, you go back in with your pull cord cover. It's held on with 4 screws. Now the 4 screws are different. What I was pointing at on the first screw is that first screw are basically the 3 top screws, and the other 3 bottom screws are the ones with the built-in washer. So install your blower tube back on, and you're ready to go. Job well.
It started okay, but we did not get a clip of it.